Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the Impact Room with myself, Perry Fletcher at Douglas Jackson, and I head up the Planning, Analytics and Insight function here. So today I'm joined with Vosy Gordon, who has recently worked with companies such as Swinton, Vodafone, and British Gas as a planning consultant. So Vosy, how are you today?
Yeah, good, very good. Had a few technical issues, the joys of working from home, but yeah,
That's
everything's
it.
great.
That's it. So thanks very much for joining us today. So obviously we'll get straight into it, and a question that's caused, that's quite an interesting question actually, and a lot of people have had to think about this one more than any others. But what would you say is your favourite travel destination and why?
Yeah, I'll profess that I was one of those. I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know. So I think this most probably comes down to the kind of person I am, but I don't actually have a favorite destination. I'm one of those kind of people who wants to put more pins in the world. So as a family, we just go to different places every single year. We try and go somewhere different. So I'm not one for holding my hat on and doing something the same every year. So for me, for the kids and for the family, it's, holiday, sort of like sun, beach, pool. But for my husband and I, we like city breaks. So, doing all of those and seeing different cultures and stuff.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, it's nice to go to different places all the time. So I think that's what makes you so out there. Makes you the person, doesn't it? If you visited so many different places and seen so many different cultures, I think you can bring that back to your normal everyday life as well. So great stuff. So now, if you wouldn't mind, would you just give everyone a quick elevator pitch, really, and just describe yourself in a couple of sentences for us?
Yeah, again, this one was another tough one because it was like, do you want to know about me as a person or do you want to know about me as the resource planning geek? So my elevator pitch will most probably be that I don't take myself too seriously. I like to have a laugh and have some fun, whether it be in or out of work. And, from my perspective, I'm a bit of a techie nerd. So I like new bits of kit, whether it be at home, you've got to have the latest gadget, or at work. Oh my God, there's a new piece of tech that could do something amazing. That's kind of like both home and away. That's kind of what that's me.
We now know why you've got a lot of friends with the vendors, I suppose, in the
Yeah,
resource.
exactly. It's like, oh, it's a shiny toy.
Great. And what would you say is the biggest opportunity you see right now within the planning world?
Well, I think it's not new, but what's come out of the out of the pandemic, which is really exciting, is the home working proposition for me. So, as a planner, I've been saying it for years, and no doubt loads and loads of planners have been saying it for years that from a flexibility perspective, having home workers means that, we can manage those peaks more effectively. So now, through the pandemic, where we would say no to home working, we've had to say yes. But now, what that means is when we come out of the pandemic, what we can do is start looking at hybrid models of how we can, really work and hone in on that kind of flexibility, lifestyle options, and retaining our people by giving them what they want and working around their lives. Because we always talk about it, but we've never been able to execute it. But now I think we're in a really good space to do that.
Mm, yeah, no, great.
And there are other things that are really exciting from a tech perspective. So I've been looking at another piece of kit or a number of pieces of kit that would help an advisor through their whole journey, from scripting and helping them through the call, to sort of like understanding where things have gone wrong within that call, and then giving them some feedback that is um, really useful, insightful feedback that they can then go back and take away for improving their kind of customer journey and customer interaction. So there's a lot out there. I could list loads, but those are the two that I'm really think are the things that are coming out at the moment.
No, great stuff. Yeah, no, I think they're real two big opportunities for say, but for just whether it is contact centres or other functions as well. Really, it's so much potential for organisations to look at. Great couple of points. So obviously you've worked with, we mentioned at the start, with a number of sort of large brands across the industry in senior roles. I mean, what one piece of advice would you give to someone maybe starting their career or wanting to progress their career to get into, within the planning world? What one piece of advice would you give them to progress through that?
See, I've got loads. So, it's kind of like one of the get to this point and you really want to give people something back. But one of the quotes that I love is, you don't know what you don't know. So keep learning, and keep being willing to learn and to change, and be open to those kind of ideas that come through. If you stay in one place as well for a very long time, you get very used to doing something the same way. And there's this resistance to change, but always take change as an opportunity to learn. And that's one of the main advices that I would give people, is have that drive to learn something new and really enhance your sort of like knowledge base.
No, it's a great point, and obviously, a real life example of that is obviously, I've met you numbers of times at different events and stuff. And you say you are always at the events. I know you attend our network calls as well. You've obviously written articles for the Call Centre Helper recently as well. I think say all of that really, say is you've got it is going keep learning. Every day is a learning day within planning.
Exactly, and I am not. I would not say that I know everything. And even at this point, another quote from my mum is that you'll keep learning till the day you die. So always have that mindset that there's always something that you could be learning about.
Great quote. There you go. I'll put that on my next post. But yeah, great stuff. So and obviously just kind of carrying on from that, I mean, for your own career, what would you say has been your biggest career break? And obviously, if there is anyone you want to thank for it, now might be an ideal time to do it.
Well, there's a couple, so I'll be brief, but one of them was the opportunity to go from a resource planning manager to a head of, and going from one different company to another. So I got the opportunity with HomeServe, and a guy called Steve Herbert, who was the head of services then, he gave me that opportunity. And that's quite a big jump, you see, for anyone to go from sort of like the RPM role to head of, and to actually do it without being in that company, for someone to take that risk on you, that was amazing. And I keep in contact with Steve. He's a great guy. We've worked on contracts before together and stuff, so I thank him for that opportunity.
Yeah, nice.
And then the second career break for me was a role fell through, and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And that led me into consultancy and contracting. And I wouldn't have gone out of a PYE job and a permanent role without having that little push. And it's been one of the best things for me, because I get to help more companies by doing this than I did before.
No, great stuff. Yeah, no, brilliant. And obviously, about yourself, what inspires you every day? Whether that's planning or just general life, or what gets you out of bed every morning?
Again, that's your questions are really, I was just like, God, I've really got to think about these. Perry, you've not made this easy. So, I think one of the things that really gets me up in the morning is humanity. And this sounds really stupid, maybe a little bit fluffy, but when everything's going horribly wrong around you, and it seems like your darkest moment, and you think, oh, I can't get out of this, I'm so sad, the littlest interaction with someone, and then the little bit of kindness from someone else just goes such a long way. And I would encourage people to, those small acts of kindness, maybe a hug, maybe a text to say, are you okay? It makes a big difference in someone's life. And when things, you look on the news and it's all disaster, you just remember that actually people are kind and people are very loving. So, always remember that, and always remember you have a support network, and that's really key for me. That keeps me going.
Yeah, no, I think it's so true. I think it's at the moment. I mean, as I know we spoke about this. I've recently started volunteering at the vaccine centre and stuff, and I was on doing a shift there last night, and I looked around and thought, you know what, this and I'd had a conversation with a senior planning leader yesterday about this, and it's a little bit like that London 2012 mentality again.
Yeah.
That we're back together. We need to do this together for it to be successful. And obviously, the British public pulled together in 2012 to make London so successful. I think it's doing that a little bit now, isn't it? Everyone's made sacrifices to make the last year, and obviously to keep the toll down and etc. etc. I think it is. I think planning, you having a role in planning, people don't realise the impact you can have on someone's life.
Yeah.
If you sort of shift that someone can go and see their relative or whatever it is that could be, it's, you don't realise that little things can make a huge difference on someone's life, and obviously planning has the ability to do that as well.
Definitely.
Business. Great. I really like that point. That's a
That's a girly point, I guess.
that's your mother figure coming out and talking. But great stuff. So I'd say thank you very much for that. It's good to learn a little bit about yourself. And obviously just before we finish, if you don't mind, obviously you've worked with myself at Douglas Jackson for numbers of years, both as a candidate and client, I believe. So obviously, would you be happy just to share a couple of kind of comments on that interaction?
Yeah, sure. So, oh God, Perry, I don't know how long we've known each other, but I've known, oh God, I nearly fell off my chair then. I've known Douglas Jackson since in the whole 20 years, most probably, that I've actually been in the industry. And I think what differentiates you from, other recruitment companies is that personal touch. So we've always been in touch regardless of, whether or not there's a role available for me or a role that I've got to recruit for. And that is that human interaction, that relationship. And that is really, really important. I think I've learned quite a lot over the years about, having good networks and having good relationships. And that's what you bring to the party. It's not always about giving me something or me giving you something. It's actually about having that relationship. And I think there are a lot of people and a lot of companies out there who don't value that. And you do as an organization. And that's really, really important. And it sets you apart from a lot of companies.
No, great. Thank you very much for that. So yeah, thanks for that. So it's really, really good to get to know Vosy a bit more. Not just that planning consultant.
Yeah.
So say obviously thanks very much for that, and obviously I'm sure we'll catch up with you at more events soon. All right.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much, Perry. Take care.
Cheers.